Hi folks, JP here from the podcast. Just to let you all know that the podcast is sponsored by AB Entertainment, and the AB stands for Mr. Alec Beveridge. It's a DJ and entertainment business. Alex is on Facebook and Instagram, and you can hit him up through the WhatsApp for any bookings on 07845 746 092. And also folks, the podcast has taken on a new partner, and we're partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. If you want any jerseys, or if you've got any memorabilia sitting around you want framed or anything looked after that way, contact John Mullaney, and you can get him at johnmullaney0971@gmail.com, or contact him on his mobile 07835 072 582. And here at the Unrestricted View, we hope you're all enjoying the content, and if you are, please like and subscribe. It's free to do so, and also share amongst your Celtic family as well. Hail, hail from all of us. Good evening and welcome back along to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP, and joining me, and might I say, who's this stranger? It's a good man, Big Jason. How you doing, big man?
I'm good, mate. It's good to be back. How are you? I'm all right, mate. Aye, it's good to be back.
Good to see you, mate.
Aye. Good to be back, man. Aye. There's a lot been happening, some personal stuff and that, you know, about going on, but aye.
Yeah.
It was time to come and make an appearance back, and aye, who better to make it my appearance back than a big handsome man like you?
better not say that too much. Ryan's not here. Here we got it.
Hello.
There you go. There's the first comment back up the other night. Evening, lads. It's good to see Big Jason back on. There you go.
All right, mate. Cheers.
So obviously you've not been on for a wee while, mate. So what's been happening in the world of Jason?
I've just been working that, mate. Sadly, lost my dad at the beginning of the month there. So that was a bit of a sorrying for me and the family. I appreciate the kind messages for you and the boys in the podcast. It was really nice, and I just thought that it was time to come back on. And he loved Celtic, and he liked to see me doing well, so I thought, what a better way to come on and talk about Celtic, the club that he brought me up to support and loved.
And what a night, by the way, to get back in about it, mate. We've got a fantastic game tomorrow and another semi-final at our national stadium. But yeah, mate, listen, obviously it was a no-brainer for myself, obviously, when I'd heard the news about your dad. And like I said, mate, long enough now we've been chatting about men's mental health and how big it is, and we kind of, but we were actually talking about this yesterday. Me, Ryan and Alan were on yesterday morning, and we had a chat about this, and we kind of says that we're kind of going to make this a priority now for us to let people know and get the word out there that don't just sit yourself, don't sit alone, don't. And knowing you for previously been on a podcast and obviously been to socials, events and stuff with yourself, Jason, I just thought with the news, mate, I just thought maybe it would have been nice to reach out and obviously get you back on for a wee chat and obviously talk about what we all love in Celtic, mate.
Aye. No, it was nice. I think your message was timed perfectly. Do you know what I mean? Because it's been good for you to give me something like that tonight where I know I'm going on the podcast tonight, do you know what I mean? So it's keeping my brain and all that working, and it's just good to know that I've got another bit of support there. But aye, it's really appreciated, really nice, and it's a big thing you've done for me, so I appreciate it.
No, magic, mate. Listen, like I says, I did say to you in my text, and I was heartfelt when I sent it to you, mate, in terms of if you need a chat or anything at all, mate, you know where we are. We're not that far away, you know, you had to do with say the word, man, and here we are, you're on the night, but obviously you're in your car, mate, so I take it you're on your jollies.
Aye, we come down for a wee couple of nights, just me, my mum and that. As I'll jump into there's the rain's on a bit, so I was like, I want to go into there and have a peace and quiet in the car. So then the nice surroundings in my Ford Focus.
I don't have a nice surroundings. I've been in that Ford Focus, by the way. I think Ryan vouch for that as well, by the way. After a Neil night, trying to get in that Ford Focus, I was talking to me and trying to throw me out at the same time. But no, listen, the Ford Focus sitting outside could be worse, mate. You could be sitting inside a shop door somewhere.
Well, that's it. Do you know what I mean? And I think what I went through is what I'm going through the news taught me is to be grateful for what we've got. Do you know what I mean? Because life can change like that, man. But anyway, let's start talking about what we're here to talk about. Celtic.
Take it away, mate. How was your feelings this season on the hoops?
I don't know, it's been a kind of up and down kind of season, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? But at certain points of the season, I've not been. I don't think we've been actually that great. I think we've been quite inconsistent. But I think when you look at it and you take your emotion at it, you need to look at the injuries in that we've had. Do you know what I mean? We've not attacked for the full season. Carter Vickers has been in and out the squad. It's been a transitional season, I think, as well. We went from Ange to Brendan, which I think a lot of fans probably thought it was going to be an easy switch. But what I seen was that Brendan's come into a winning team. He's never done that before. Do you know what I mean? He's come into players that he doesn't know that they're used to a certain system, and that was always going to take time. But listen, we've been top of the table for the start of the season, apart from probably maybe 2 weeks when them from across the water went top, and we've only lost 3 games all season. Over a season, if you look at that, that's a pretty successful season in my opinion. But we're starting to come alive at the right time. I was at the game on Saturday. First half I thought was a bit slow and all that, but when the first goal came in, that was us. We were ready to go. Do you know what I mean? My only concern is, which I think most of us will have that concern, is Rugby Park away. Do you know what I mean? That seems to be my sort of hoodoo this season. Isn't it? We can't. Yeah. They've beat us a few times. They've beat us there twice, and they've drew with them at Celtic Park. But listen, we're back in the driving seat, and if that's us, if this is us not having that great a season, I'll take that every season. Because I think if we keep doing what we're doing and just each game at a time, I think we'll be holding that trophy up again at the end of the season. Yeah,
I mean that's the thing you mentioned there about, you know, that there's definitely been inconsistencies this season, but there's a number of reasons for those inconsistencies. You know, you mentioned you mentioned about the injured players and the guys getting injured, especially with key players and stuff. I've been banging on all season, mate, on here about the massive change with the managers as well. So it's like night and day. I know the two of them are attack-minded managers. I was actually on Sports Sound a couple of weeks ago, and I had a chat with Kenny McIntyre Kevin Thompson and Michael Stewart. And Kevin Thompson actually asked me the question of what if Brendan, doesn't win the league? What do you think is going to happen? And he called our support the faithful. And that's fine. That was absolutely fine. And what I says to Kevin was, I said, this season's been a bit of a mixed bag because this season's been a massive transitional season for Celtic on and off the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the number of players that we signed in the summer, I think it was 11 new players coming into the team.
Yeah.
We lost some really good players as well. But it's taken some of those guys to now, boys like, Yang's been hot and cold, right? But he's had good moments also. Narotsky, he's been plagued with injury this season. But when he comes in last Saturday, you see his quality almost straight away. He did the same when he came on as a substitute against the other team for the other side of the city at the last game at Celtic Park.
Yeah.
Idah coming in January, he's gave the team a big boost, in my opinion. He's gave the team a massive lift because the team, when he enters the pitch, the team grow in confidence. Cameron Carter-Vickers been in and out, been one of the ones that's been bearing on the team as well. Hatate. Maedda's now out for a second spell. He's been out already this season. Callum McGregor. So there's been a lot of chopping and changing. But the one big thing for me, Jason, I don't know how you feel on this, mate, is the manager. Because the manager, he's not only came back to a club, first and foremost, he's came back to a club where probably a majority of the support didn't want him, right? And they never wanted the guy. And nobody was thinking about how good a manager he is. Everybody was like, no, I don't want him. He left us the last time. I don't want him. Okay, fair enough. And people hadn't let go of that. Although we went on with two previous managers and had great success, and one being Neil Lennon, the other one Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah.
So it's still stuck with people there. But the chopping and changing this season, I put this to you, mate. I was asked on the radio, if we don't win the league, what do I think will happen? Now, for me personally, if Celtic weren't to win the league, I personally think that Brendan Rodgers will be given more time. And I reckon his CV is the reason why he'll be given more time. Not because of who he is. I think his CV deserves more time because he's a winner. So, I don't know how you feel on that, mate, but I think there's a combination of reasons, Jason, for me personally. I know you touched on it there about why the season's not went as well as we can expect it. But like it says, mate, that's football. We're not entitled to beat every team and annihilate every single team. We're not invincible. So we can't we're not going to blitz teams every year. We come off the back of a treble and we're still sitting just now, entering tomorrow, with a chance, mate, to back a treble up by winning a double. This is, I mean, that'll be 7. If we win these 2 trophies, right, and I'm not going to be big-headed enough to say they're done and that's it. If we manage to get them over the line, we're 7 trophies in 3 years. Yeah, all we've heard all season, mate, is the narrative's been spun as Celtic are poor, Celtic are this, Celtic are that. We've heard it all season. I don't know how you feel, mate, but I think the hardest thing this season for me personally, and you can talk to me what you feel about Brendan also, but the hardest thing for me this season has been being a Celtic fan. The fans. Not a team. Not a very team, not a manager, not a board, nothing. Celtic fans. Because of the way they've behaved this season.
Yes, I agree with you on that. I think that a lot of Celtic fans think that it's a God-given right we should win a treble every year. Trebles are very, very hard to do, and we've won 5 in so many years. We've won 8 trebles in our full history. We've won 5 in the last, but since Brendan came in the first time.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of fans, not so much of my generation or your generation, but certainly my nephew's generation and the younger generation are very entitled, and they should win. They think they should win a treble every year. That's nuts. They can't happen. That we were actually talking before we came on, and the two of you said, so long as we win the league every year, I'll take that every year.
Yeah.
Cups are a bonus. I'll admit. But I always think we could be doing better in the Champions League. But you need to look at the Champions League. We're never going to be able to compete in that. We're never going to be able to compete in that. People say you want a European run. We're not going to get a European run in the Champions League. The way it is now, anyway.
Yes, I think it's definitely going to be very difficult, because if you look at the teams that you're up against, you're up against quality. Even teams like Lazio and, teams like Shakhtar.
Lazio have got people like Pedro sitting on the bench that can come on like he did against us, score a goal and win you a game of football. That's the difference. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think if Brendan wasn't to win the league this year, I wouldn't have. I think he deserves to rebuild the team. Aye. Who are you going to get that's going to come in that's going to be better than Brendan Rodgers? Nobody.
Well, I've always said, Jason, this season, mate, I think you need to be very careful what you wish for. I think you have to. The Celtic fans need to be careful what they wish for, because if you remember if you remember back to the Lou McCarry and Liam Brady days, mate, you need to be very careful what you wish for. And I think it's one of those ones, mate, where a lot of Celtic fans don't actually realise what we've got at our disposal. Because see, this season, in my opinion, we would have dropped way more points than what we have already have. And see the wee run that we've put together just now, in my opinion, a lesser type manager, a guy with not the same quality as Brendan Rodgers, Celtic probably only going to win the league this season. They're not even in a title challenge, in my opinion.
I would agree. I mean, we're talking about Brendan Rodgers here, the guy that hasn't lost a derby game this year, by the way. He's won 2 and drew 1. He went to Ibrox twice and took 4 points out of 6.
Yeah.
Should have, admittedly, probably should have got 6 out of 6, but that's football. Do you know what I mean? But he knows how to. See, I don't think Brendan was fully backed in the transfer windows, by the way. Because a lot of them signings weren't really his signings. He's just going to be like that. We'll roll with it.
What ones do you think weren't his picks, in your opinion?
Yang. I don't think Yang's his.
No, granted. I think that was earmarked by Big Ange. I think some of those signings, boys like Tilly and stuff like that, I would agree with that. I think they were earmarked. I've even said it on here. They were earmarked by Big Ange.
But I think, look, Big Naroki, that was probably Brendan signing. And then you look at
what about Lager Bielka? Because that seems a strange one, doesn't it?
That's a strange one for me, mate. I don't think that's a Brendan signing. But he played him at the start, but he was only playing at the start because he didn't have anybody else to play. But there you go, right? There's the Brendan that everyone was doubting.
There's JD on the YouTube's come in with some more names there for us, and he's probably mentioning them because you mentioned about players not being Brendan's pick, and he said Home, Yang, Tilio, Lager Bielka, and Kwon.
I would probably agree with that. Aye. But there you go. But he played Lager. We went to this Brendan. One of the pundits had said that I think that he wasn't the manager that he was when he was here the first time. I think he's a better manager. Aye.
Of course, yes.
Because he went to Ibrox with Lager Bielka and Liam Scales at centre half, and we coasted it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
that's tactical, by the way. That wasn't. That's also bringing a tactical element to the game with the two and telling the two of them what to do that day.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, Lagerbielke, you know, for me, I thought he did very well. I thought listen, I'll say to you now, because you've not been on for a while, I thought he got out of jail that day. I thought we should have had a goal given against us because I don't think that was a foul. So I thought he got out of jail. But from what I've seen of Lagerbielke, and this is just my opinion, I think he's too pedestrian. I think he's too slow. And if we're trying to play high the way Carter Vickers and Narotsky were at Celtic Park on Saturday last week, if we're trying to play high and sit in the halfway line, because that was another one I think Narotsky's not used to playing like that either. So he's kind of watching Carter Vickers and he's trying to guide him.
Mm-hmm.
And there was spells of the game where you're seeing Narotsky going, all right, okay, we're here. And you could see him going like that to Carter Vickers, are we here? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, all right, okay, I'm enjoying this. And you could start to see him starting getting on the ball and playing some passes, and you could see him starting to enjoy it. As if to say, oh, I've not really played up this high before. And but I think that, you know, and it's the same with Liam Scales, who I think, by the way, he's had a tremendous season, in my opinion.
Very
where
good.
Came from. But Lagerbielke, I think if he comes to the halfway line and the ball's clipped behind him, he's not getting it. He's not got a ton of speed. Whereas Narotsky, you look at Starfelt, right? Starfelt a ton of speed. And a lot of the time, that bailed him out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it with Lagerbielke. I'm not writing Lagerbielke off. He might still become a good player, but right now is he anywhere near? I don't think he's anywhere near good enough to come in and play the now. But I think Narotsky is. I've granted, but I feel sorry for him as well, Jason, because he's been injured.
Aye, I think Narotsky would have come in and played over Scales, but he's got injured, and Scales was good. But I think Narotsky's got to play now.
Yeah.
I think the more Narotsky's got to start. Because he has a natural centre half.
Ryan must have the same mindset as yourself, because he said Narotsky must play over Scales.
We know how Ryan feels about Scales anyway, so...
No, we do. We had apparently had an abductor problem last week, wasn't it? It was just that Ryan had abducted him into his house last week. There's a comment from Ann Jem on the YouTube. Is that the reason for abducting Scales, Ryan? So he had to let him out.
Listen, I think it was, you had said that during pre-season we were playing in Ireland and Scales played centre half, and you were like, that what a game that boys had. They played really well in pre-season.
He was excellent when we went to Japan. He was excellent when we played in Ireland, and I thought he was excellent against Balboa at Celtic Park as well.
But you've got to be fair play to Scales. He just came in and he took his chance, and he deserved to be playing there. But Narotsky has a better centre half than him. That's and I tell you another one I've been really impressed with since he came in, and I wasn't impressed when he first started, but Kuhn, really like him.
He's different. In my opinion, he's different class.
Rapid, rapid, quick, by the way. Very good.
He puts your fear into fullbacks and stuff, and for me, he's different class, 100%. But more on tomorrow, mate. Obviously, you're away, so you're obviously you'll get to see it, I'm assuming, at some point. But what's your thought? Another semi-final back at Hampden against Aberdeen. Now, we're used to playing Aberdeen at the tail end of these competitions. We have done them. We've had a decent record against them. Obviously, the last time we played Aberdeen, we drew 1 each for them. It was like a damp squib, really. What's your overall and overriding thoughts for tomorrow?
I think we'll win. I don't think Aberdeen have they're possibly going into a relegation battle, aren't they? The way that it's looking at the now, they're not doing very well.
Well, certainly that result for Ross County on Sunday certainly dragged them closer to it anyway, that's for sure.
Well, aye, that was some result of that, wasn't it? We'll get to that, but but I think McGregor will come back into the fold. Listen, we've been very successful at Hampden recently, but I think we'll win quite comfortably tomorrow. I really do. I don't really see what Aberdeen are going to come and do. They've not got a manager, do you know what I mean? So I think we're too. Rodgers, he's got them ticking well now. He's got them ticking well, and I like that. We're good. I think. Again, though, is it going to be one of these games where we're going to not play well in the first half and then come out the second half, or are we going to just go out and obliterate them the first half and then that's it? But
Yeah.
I can't see us no winning tomorrow, mate. I'd be very surprised.
Well, that's been something we've kind of spoke about the last couple of weeks. It seems to be that Celtic come out and absolutely go flat out for 45 minutes, and then the second 45 minutes they're a bit more reserved in the way that they play.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's time, mate. I think it's obviously time. I think the team under Ange, I think it's muscle memory with them, and I think the team has been, the nucleus of our squad has been coached to now peak at this stage of the season.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think if you remember back to Ange sort of said that in one of his pressers. That's the way he's coached the team, to peak when it's challenging for trophies and medals and stuff like that. So I'm not surprised the team are now starting to find form at this stage. But I think Brendan's comments last Saturday, Jason, put pressure on a certain team when he came out at the end of the game and he says, "This is when Celtic
come alive."
That's when Celtic come alive. So I'm not surprised. I can't be surprised because obviously watching
Celtic, well, it worked.
Yeah, well it did, but it's continued to work. And now we've got their players coming out saying that they're shit.
By the way, I know.
So their own players are now starting to see it as well. So it's not only is it work, but they're bringing out the truth now as well.
Aye, and look, Brendan's a very, very clever man. Do you know what I mean? He said something as well. We beat them at Celtic Park. The same thing happened. He came out and he was like that. In my 2 years over here, in my 2 spells, I've faced 5 managers, and every single time they've been coming at some point.
Yeah,
they went fucking ballistic over that. By the way, he can't. So he's been in their head ever since. Stuff like that, because they see that. And it's always got a negative effect on them. It's always got a negative effect on them.
It's as if he just flicked a switch and then they just, I don't know, they just hit a brick wall, didn't they? They just, as if, we can't get any further now.
It's just capitulation, man.
Game when you play, you're a wee guy and you get to a certain level and you're at this thing for months and months and when you just can't get by it because of the big body.
Mm-hmm. It's just, it's brilliant. I mean, you've even got that. Clement even came out on that game on Wednesday and said that they created enough chances to win a game of football. I nearly fell off my chair when he said that.
Me too, mate. I actually said out loud. I was sitting myself watching the game, and I was actually flicking between that and the Man City Real Madrid game. And it was a bit that he was watching his interview, and the bits that I did see the game, which was a large part of the game. I think I missed maybe 20 minutes of the game or whatever overall. But I thought to myself, I don't know what game you were watching, mate, and you're the manager of that team. You know what I mean? I do not know what game you were watching. Even James McFadden says it. He's like, I don't know what game. He said we all looked at each other on the gantry like,
aye. So he says that, right? And then that guy comes out 2 days later and says, "I but we're shit."
And then he comes out today and goes, "It's just lack of experience." How is it lack of experience? The guy's just telling me how it is.
Nah. Professional footballer, I don't buy that.
Then he's that, I don't buy that. All about, I know. He's talking about Man City winning the treble. And then the day he quotes Virgil van Dijk's interview. You're like, what are you talking about? He's not telling you, man. He's out there with the village, man. He's away.
It's just, but this is the effect.
We jam trainers going to turn up at Ibrox next week with a man with a white coats looking for him, man. I'm telling you.
Honestly, right? You could go back right where this podcast started and just put the same podcast out for this part of the season because we're saying the same stuff. It's the same stuff that we just bring up. It's the bottle merchants, they've not got it. They say they don't fear us. Well, I see it totally different. There is a mental block with us.
The fans say that they don't fear us. right?
Their fans don't, but their players do.
Their players just something when it obviously like McGregor, right? He comes on a party right away. He says something to Cantwell, and Cantwell looks at him and he says something back to him. Me McGregor does that and he points up to the scoreboard, and then he laughs at him. They're in their heat. Every one of them are in their heat. And they know the Celtic players are clever, Jason, because they know what players on the pitch to go and trigger.
Aye. Tavernier's one, no?
Yeah, he's another one. But
the Hall of Famer.
They've got a weak mentality and they lack leadership.
Aye.
You see, like Dan McManus and guys that are now starting to come out. Why is it taking them now? From now, we've been saying it for years on here. So why is it taking from now for them to start realising this is becoming a thing now?
There was a certain point.
There was the other night, and I says we've always been here. We've never been anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. There was a certain pundit on a show last week that sat and said that Rangers would go up to Ross County, win the game comfortably, and then beat Dundee to go set so many points clear. As a man, you know who I'm talking about.
Hugh Evans.
Aye. Do you know what I mean? And then he's on the night saying, I said Celtic will drop points. But we won't now because he said that.
No, I know.
Do you know what I
mean? I don't know how many times that guy sat in a live radio and went, Celtic season's imploding, then it's goal flash and Celtic have scored to win. Jackie
Marcus at Perth, remember?
Yeah, he done it the one I know with Idah, the United game at Celtic Park. Then we went on in was it the Wednesday night and we beat them 3. That was in the game. For me, that was the game at Celtic.
Oh, aye, yep.
Remember the one, it was like the 2nd of February, it was a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm. The game with Diallo and all that.
Aye.
Remember?
Mate, that felt, I don't know about you, mate. But that, to me, in the stadium, that felt like a Champions League night.
Aye, yeah. Mate, do you know what was weird about that one? Is that they usually warmed up at the other side, but for whatever reason, they warmed them up at the Green Brigade side.
They've done it twice now, Jason.
They were just like that.
I don't know who's in charge. I do not know who's in charge of that, but that's crazy. I mean, that's nuts. To do that and having them warming up right in front of the Green Brigade, for me, you're asking for trouble, mate. You're asking for serious trouble.
It's nuts. You know what else makes it?
One of my mates texts me and he says, we've lost our bottle. I says, I know the guy threw it on at Matt O'Reilly in the park the other week.
Do you know what makes it even sweeter, right? Is that they've literally done everything in their power. They've even banned us for their stadium, and they've still not won it.
Yeah, have you seen as well? But I don't know if anyone in the comments here has actually saw this. I read about this today. Actually, there's apparently another meeting going to be happening between the two clubs because you know how it was announced just a short time ago that Celtic and Rangers are going to now have fans in for the derby next season. Well, that might not be happening now. So it's just been brought to attention because of the behaviour at Ibrox in the recent game. So not only was Matt O'Reilly targeted with a half bottle of whatever that was, a glass bottle of, whether it be Buckfast or whatever it may have been, we all seen it on the TV. There was actual coins and stuff flung into the Celtic dugout from the Ibrox main stand from behind the dugouts. And I think it was... I can't remember his name, that's terrible. The Celtic goalie coach.
Stevie Woods,
aye. I said they call him Tommy Woods for some reason there, I don't know why. And yeah, Stevie Woods, apparently he was hit right in the back of the ear with, and it left a mark, obviously, with a clipper lighter. So the Celtic have says, look, this isn't... But listen, it goes to show that, you know... Yeah, definitely, mate. They should use the coins to invest in the squad. If only they used the coins when the club needed it most, when the old Rangers were still alive, they'd have been okay, you know what I mean?
Keep the big house open.
Yeah. Good evening, Alan. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well.
Anyway.
Oh, we're all excited about tomorrow, mate. Don't you worry. Just about to start talking about the good stuff now.
Aye.
No, it's just been good to obviously get your thoughts on Celtic, mate, and how the season's been going. Because as I say, we've not spoke to you for a while. So, in terms of tomorrow, man, I'm looking forward to tomorrow because obviously it's another semi-final. You can't take these games for granted, and I think Celtic, the way they go about their business, season in, season out, and the repetitiveness in getting them and getting to these semi-finals and potential finals and stuff. Jason, you've got to tip your hat at that, mate, because it's no easy, mate. I mean, the many clubs enter the Scottish Cup, and their end goal is to get to Hampden, and Celtic have just made it the norm. It's like tomorrow. I mean, the way the fans are going to be going, that's going to be like a home game for us tomorrow, because there was 5 phases of ticket sales for Celtic fans. So, but I think, mate, personally, you can't take these nights for granted, and you've got to cherish these moments, mate.
Aye. No, I think I was you can on. I was working at Hampden during the week there, and I ended up speaking to one of the guys, and he said that obviously Aberdeen didn't sell a lot of them, so they just gave them to Celtic. So it's going to. I think it's going to. We're well into that. We're well over into their end anyway. The way that he was saying. So like you said, it's like a home game, so that can only be a good thing for us. But like you said, look, Aberdeen, they'll be up for it, 100%. You can't just turn up thinking we're going to win. But Brendan doesn't let his team go like that, where they just turn up and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But his strongest 11 will play, definitely. I don't know who he's going to play on the left. I think Palmer might come back in.
Yeah, so they are.
I actually like Palmer, by the way.
No,
I like Palmer.
So they are. There's another one for you, Alan. There's somebody else like some big man. Big Alan.
I like Palmer. Well, he's better than Yang.
Yeah,
put it that way.
100%. And I think if he was fit at Ibrox, I do think that substitute would have been made. I do think that would have been made.
Mate, see that one at Ibrox when they scored the third goal with that today, just as soon as you showed him onto that left, I knew that boy was going to score that. So you've got to show him at the park.
See if you look at it back, right? See if you look at that back. See if Iwata takes 2 steps inside. Matondo doesn't get that room to jink there. And then if he goes to the byline, Yang's body's already away that way. Here, like that. So Yang's on that spin to turn in there. But then Alistair's standing there for the cover. So Matondo would have been stuck in a cul-de-sac there. If Iwata just takes 2 steps that way. But listen, mate, again, this is all how, like, players like Iwata, and this is how these guys develop. They learn from their mistakes. No doubt Brendan.
I actually like Iwata.
I like him too, mate. I just think he's so simple, and he reminds me of Neil Lennon. He doesn't need to be pretty. He doesn't need to do all, but he does a lot of the donkey work for the team.
I sort of watched him off the ball again. I watched off the ball in the game on Saturday, and he does do a lot, mate. Do you know what I mean? He creates a lot of space. He's a workhorse and all. Because I actually thought McGregor would have started at Ibrox, but he was well off it. Even when he came on, I thought he was a wee bit off it. But no, I'm impressed with Iwata. I like him. I really do.
Yeah, no, it's a no-brainer for me with Iwata. And to think that we only paid 785,000 for him is scary. This is a guy who was the Japanese Player of the Year just before we signed him.
And he's took his time to get into the squad because he was getting in and then he got injured. And then he's come back in. See, he's going to probably feel hard done by if he's on the bench tomorrow, because I would be. But he's going to play O'Reilly, Hatate and McGregor.
I think McGregor will start, Jason, but I don't think he'll play the full 90, mate. I think he'll come off the way he's done, mate. See the way he's done with Hatate? Just to kind of start to build him up, mate, because McGregor will not want to, for me, he'll not want to bust his ass too quickly, because he's got the Euros to think about as well. So he'll be trying to, he'll be trying to build himself gradually so that So that he's starting to peak just as the season's starting to end, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Aye, yep, I would agree with that.
So I would take him off after 60 minutes.
You're hoping that the game, you're hoping that the game's kind of done and dusted by that point, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see. And I'll tell you another one. I let him off when he first came on. Oh, Big Idah. I was like, no, he's going to be a donkey. What a player, man. What a player.
I'm laughing, mate, because you've obviously said he was going to be a donkey, but listen, you're not only player. I've had guys come back and text me saying sorry, and I had the luxury of, because of Barry Bannon being on here, I'm kind of tuned into the Championship football now. It's something it just came a thing now for me. So before he came here, I kind of knew roughly a wee bit about him as well. So I knew he was a big lad. I knew he could put it about, and I knew he was quick. I didn't realise how good he was until I seen him at Celtic Park, and I thought, right, okay, you're actually better than I thought.
He's playing like a guy that's enjoying his football, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
I think he's playing in a teammate where he's got the freedom to go and express himself properly, and you can see the evasion he's got with the fans as well, because the fans have taken to him like a duck to water, mate. I
think Ryan wasn't. I think he thinks we can do better, but which we probably can. But I think
Ryan says that about every player we've got, by the way.
But you look at you look at it though, right?
For Celtic fans, they're always wanting that wee bit more improvement every year, you know.
But you look at it though, if you're Big O's well at the picture. No, right? He's probably going to get. He's probably going to be.
I don't know if you've heard the last couple of weeks here I was talking on here, mate. We've spoken about it a bit. Big Con, he's bought a Subway franchise. I think he's got a few of the boys doing shifts on there because they're not getting again. James McCarthy's the manager of the shop now.
Oh mate, don't even go there with it, man. But you look at Idah and you look at O, and Idah's streets ahead of him, mate. I think if he becomes available in the summer, depending on the price, I think you've got to go for him.
You picture we played the two of McGirr, Idah O. What a state we'd have been in there now.
But I think Big Idah, I think he wants to move though. I think he wants to come up here.
I would say, well, listen, I would say a conversation. If it's possible, then I would say conversations are probably no doubt already started behind the scenes, because for me it's a no-brainer to keep him, mate. I don't see why you wouldn't.
He's finished at Ibrox. What a finish, by the way. And that point, that I was speaking to Barry McCandless, and that point and that goal could be the difference of winning a league title or not, by the way.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, that Idah scores goals, and he's made impact. He scored a lot of big games for us this season. You know, you look at the one at Hibs away from home. He scores that winning penalty. He came on at Fir Park. And for me, Jason, see that one at Motherwell? That's been the turning point of this season for us, I think. Us winning at Motherwell, we've not really looked back since, if you look at the team the way we're playing now. And he came off the bench and scored a brace that day.
And see his header in that game. What a goal that was, man. Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%, mate. That was a beauty. Yeah, and I think he's all round movement and stuff.
He's one of those players though. He knows he's probably not going to be first choice, but he's quite happy with the role that he's got. Because Kyogo's obviously going to play, right? And he's actually made Kyogo better because Kyogo knows he's got competition. Because I don't know if you noticed, since Idah came in, Kyogo started scoring goals.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, this is the thing. It's, you know, he brings quality. I mean, Francis, we commented after Francis said, we need to start playing for 90 minutes, JP. No use. One half good, one half poor. That's the improvement I'm looking for. I think it's his time, Francis. Like I said earlier in the pod, mate, I think it's I think the injuries are helping as well. Guys' fitness levels changing. And then when you look at the bench now, you've got guys like Bernardo and, guys that are coming on. What we need now is them to come on and just impact the game. And I think that's what we're building towards, Francis, if that makes sense. We're building towards that impact straight away. So when you bring Atati off, you're bringing Bernardo on, and then all of a sudden he becomes an instant goal threat. It's the same with Idah. You bring Idah on if he's not started, and he's looking to score straight away. He's got that instant impact. And I think it's just time. I think it's just that, like I says earlier, folks, I think it's just Celtic have been programmed, and they've been programmed under big hands. The nucleus of this team, I've got muscle memory to that now. And this is where they peak. This is why we're seeing Celtic play the way they are, because they're starting to peak towards what we call the business end of the season, Jason.
Aye. I agree. Aye. And we're just... I'm only concerned as a rugby park. I said that last week when we came out.
Is that because we've lost already down there this season?
Aye.
Right.
I said last week when I came out the game, if we can go to Rugby Park and win there, I think we'll win the league. But
yeah, maybe question to Jerry here as well, mate. He says, would you pay $6 million on the bench a lot?
Aye.
Well, hold on, and I'll put this back to you, Jerry. Right? You say he's on the bench a lot, mate. There's been games this season, mate, where Kyogo's come out of the team because of him. I was asked the other day, does he play in front of Kyogo? Well, he does if Kyogo's not in form, 100%, in my opinion, because it showed this season. Brendan's put him in and not been afraid to put him in front of Kyogo, who was fully fit. It's not like Kyogo's been injured. But you're asking, would I pay £6 million? I think more of the question is, what would £6 million buy you nowadays? What would that buy you? How often are you going to get a guy happy to come in and play possibly second fiddle, but not be a good teammate? So how many players have you saw like that through the years who don't do well for the team? Whereas you've got a guy in Idah who's not only a big, massive Celtic fan, but he works his absolute bollocks off every time training and playing for Celtic when he does. Because he treats every game, and this is just the way I see him play, he treats every game like it's a Champions League final.
Yeah.
He turns up in every game. And the question you've got to ask yourself, Jerry, you're paying £6 million for a guy who makes an instant impact. Now, you expect that fee for a guy to make an instant impact, like Cameron Carter-Vickers, like Jota. So would I pay £6 million for Adam Idah? Absolutely. He scored 7 goals in 12 games.
He's also scored at Ibrox. Giacomakis never scored against Rangers, by the way.
Well, there you go. What a start that is, by the way. There's a big... Now, as much as we all say Giacomakis was unbelievable, would I pay £6 million for a guy to come in and make an impact? I probably maybe not put it quite as, the way Jerry does here, just to sit on the bench. Because, is that really what Idah's doing? I would probably say he's more of a bench player if he wasn't making a contribution. You could maybe label him that then, but he's a what Barry Bannon would call, he doesn't call them subs, Jason, he calls them finishers.
He's got he's scored in goals. He scored goals in games this year where you can look back when this season finished, and if we win the league, go to that. That's what got us momentum. Easter, like you're saying, Easter Road. We weren't winning that game if it wasn't for Adam Idah, by the way. We're dropping points in that. Motherwell. And then he comes on. Now, that goal at Ibrox, right? The pressure, because they've just scored, by the way. And he slots it in and puts the 3-2 up. That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't think Giacomakis would have done that. I'm not saying that Idah's better than Giacomakis. That's not what I'm saying. But you get judged on the big goals.
He's more mobile than Giacomakis was, because see, if you played Giacomakis, Celtic had to play with a mid press, so we had to press for here. When Idah plays, we take Kyogo and put Idah. you can play for the final third because he's shutting the goalie down, he's shutting fullbacks down, he's shutting the centre backs down. He runs like he runs about like Kyogo. He chases things down. The only thing is he's got a bigger stature and he's more physical. I mean, look at Saturday. Gogic was putting it about and elbowing everybody he could. He tried to do that with Idah and he bounced off Idah.
That's right, aye.
So, and we ended up scoring. Idah's goal led from Idah intercepting the play and starting the ball and flicked it to sorry, I was ready to say Yanga, Palmer. And then Palmer does a wee jink, pings it back, and the ball comes up, and obviously Idah headers it in. But you're saying there, Jerry, obviously, is he going to be happy not playing for the start? Well, what we've seen just now, I mean, he's not playing for the start most games. That record, he's not starting every game. You've got to look at what he's doing. Don't take away as he's starting every... A lot of fans look at things and go, he's not starting every game. No, the question is he impacting the team? What impact does he have on the team? Is it negative? Is it positive? And it's clear to see that this guy gives his all, and he's clearly positive for the team. So it's, it's clear to see that, one, he impacts the team in a positive way, and he works hard for the team. And I think, I think 6 million, I'm going to be honest, Jerry, just now. I know, obviously, I'm chatting to yourself about this. I think 6 million's a steal for Adam Idah. He's came from a league as well that's, in my opinion, far superior to our league. We were asking at the beginning of the season for a player with physicality, right? And we never got it. We never got that player. So we asked for a player with physicality, and we never got it at the beginning of the season, but we got it in January, and Adam Idah. But the good thing about, back to your question, Jerry, the good thing about Adam Idah is not every team's going to give you quality, mate, and let you do a try before you buy. And Celtic have done remarkably well over the last period of time in that market alone. You look at Jota, Cameron Carter-Vickers, we're probably going to do the same with Bernardo. You're looking at maybe Adam Idah. That's just over the last couple of years. And if you can add that quality, one, are they making an impact? Yes. Two, are they a good teammate when they do play? Yes. 3, are they putting the fear of God into people? Absolutely. Because teams are looking at them going, oh no, he's playing today. And that's what it's going back to, Jason. We're going back to that. I know. We're standing in a tunnel, mate, and teams are looking across and going, oh no, there's Idah. Oh no, there's Kyogo. Oh no, there's Atati. Oh no, there's... And round and round we go, and that's the kind of fear that we had under Big Ange, but that's now starting to come back again, mate.
It's like with Big Ange, it was with Idah that he was feared. Do you know what I mean? Especially with them across the city. And it's Maeda and all right, Maeda. You seen that? At Ibrox? Total and utter fear.
Daddy, what you doing?
Total and utter fear, mate. Total and utter fear.
On the podcast tonight.
I know. And see, the thing is that that's it. There's just fear with him. And Maeda, again, at Ibrox, there was fear there. And that was 21 seconds into the game. Now, how many times has he done that to them with that press? How many times is he going to do it? Everybody knows what he can do. And it still happens.
Yeah, no, 100%, mate. You're spot on. Give us your team selection for tomorrow. What do you think the starting lineup will be?
By the way, I was actually, before I do that, I was talking to Barry McCandless the other day, and we're talking about players that have had a big impact. since, well, I was mentioning about players for the winter break. Joe Hart for the winter break has been absolutely outstanding, by the way. Don't know what you think about that, but I think he's been
100%. Massive.
Do you know what I mean? The saves, and I don't know if it's because since he said he was retiring, he said that's sort of right. There's no pressure on me now.
Yeah.
But he's been brilliant. But my lineup for the morrow is obviously Joe Hart. I think the back four will be Taylor. I think Narosky plays, Carter Vickers and Johnston. Midfield three of McGregor, Hatate, O'Reilly. I think Palmer, Kuhn, and Kyogo up top.
Right, okay. Obviously, I'll give you my team, mate, and then I'll let you get back to your family because I know you're away and you're obviously being summoned there. So I'll let you get back to your family. And before I let you go, mate, it's been good to talk to you again, mate. It's been really good to
100%. I do apologise about that there, by the way.
No, not a problem. Listen, that's with the joys of technology. And obviously, as you've said, you needed to charge your phone up, which is absolutely fine, mate. These things happen. Don't worry about that. But my team simply is Joe Hart, Alistair Johnston, Cameron Carter-Vickers. I'm probably going to be loved off Ryan for this, but I do think Liam Scales will come back into the team tomorrow. And I think it'll be Greg Taylor. I think the midfield will be Callum McGregor, Rio Watati, and Matt O'Reilly. I think it'll be Nicholas Kuhn, Lewis Palmer, and I think Kyogo will start. But I'll let you go. I'll continue and I'll say cheerio to everybody else. But again, big man, thank you very much for coming on. Have a pleasant weekend. I hope you enjoy the game tomorrow. And we'll catch up soon, mate.
Right. Cheers, mate. Right. See you later on.
Buddy.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, massive thank you to Jason for taking the time with me tonight, folks. As you've probably seen at the start there, big man's been through them all. So it's been good to get him back on and have a wee chat with him. It's good to see he's looking well as well. I think he's in the last minute wee trip away with his family. And as I said, it's good to get away with your family because things when, times are hard, folks, and you just need that wee break. Sometimes it resets your mindset as well. And Thomas, I've spoke to the boys about this, mate. I think that he's been instrumental for the team. I really, really do. I think he's been a big reason as to why we've found form. We're back into winning again, and he's also a big leader, mate. And I'm going to miss him because people might not think about this just now, but he's massive for a squad, massive. And for me to buy, I think we're going to need to shell out a few shekels to get quality. It was a stroke of luck at the time. Joe Hart was not getting a game with Tottenham, and it kind of married in really well with what was happening, and he was kind of outed by the Portuguese lad that was at Tottenham at the time. His name's escaping now. Espirito Santo, I think he's at Nottingham Forest now. And when we got him, it was a stroke of luck, in my opinion, to get him on a Bosman as well, And what a servant he's been for us. And he's gave us some memorable times, and he's come in and it's been trophy leading with him as well. So not only has he brought quality and his experience, but he's also brought silverware to the team as well by a lot of saves that he makes and things that he does. So it's we're going to miss him big time, and I don't think it's sunk in yet with the Celtic fans. But we're massively going to miss him, massively. And I think if you see Joe now after each game, the games that are ticking down now, you see him after the games and he's going round and he's clapping the fans. He's kind of taking more of it in now because he knows he's here. I mean, he's retiring at the end of the season, so But we wish him all the best, and we just hope Celtic are on the ball and we manage to get a right good replacement in, because we vastly need it. Moving forward, I think it starts off where if you've got a really good goalkeeper and you've got confidence in your team, you've got your defenders are confident, and it's a snowball effect or a domino effect or whatever phrase you want to use, but it's kind of that effect. You weren't a fan of him, Thomas, no? Is that just because he was in the Head and Shoulders advert? A lot of people have made wee jibes about that one, but here's one I've not asked, right? Obviously chatting to Big Jason because I've not seen him for a while. Give us your team, folks. Before I finish up, give us your team. Who's willing to give me what they think the team's going to be? And obviously stop talking amongst yourselves for a minute, and so give us your lineup, give us your team. I'm not meaning you, Ryan, because we know what your lineup was at 10:30, so we've seen that one before. Well, that would start. Yeah, that's a good start, Angie. Very good start. A winning one would be great, yeah, but we're talking about players here. You know, just I don't think that'll be on the team sheet tomorrow, Angie. The Celtic lineup is a winning one. I don't see that being the. I think Brendan will get his arse felt for that one if he tries that. So it needs to be names, I'm afraid. So if anybody wants to have a go at the team, Jerry, there we go. It's not often people agree with me, Jerry, but I'll take that tonight, mate. That's a good start to the weekend for me, by the way. It's not often anybody agrees with me, especially in this house. It's me against the world done here, mate. But thanks very much. Anybody at all want to have a go at the team? No? Come on, I can't finish without having a bit of interaction with somebody with the team. Come on. Ryan, are you still watching? Are you away getting practice in before 10:30? Brendan, we trust. I think it's a good game for McGregor to start. Yeah, I think he'll start, but I don't think he'll finish the game. Or vice versa. But I'm more edging towards he'll start. That's why I picked him in my lineup, Thomas. I think he'll play about 60 minutes and do what he's done with Hatate and build him. Because they don't have Graham Shinnie, so nobody in there to kick him. That's the thing as well. I mean, me and Jason chatting away there, we've not once spoke about Aberdeen. You know, they do pose threats. I mean, Miowski's a threat. I like the boy Connor Barron. I think he's a good player. The boy is it? I want to say, is it centre back for Aberdeen? Big lad with the blonde hair. I can't mind his name now. I think he's Scandinavian, the boy. He's a good big player as well. Is it Peder? It's not Pedersen. Henriksen or something his name is. I'm showing my ignorance here. I don't think it's him. I don't think it's either or, to be honest with you. But the centre back at Aberdeen, not the one that took Kyogo out. I'm not meaning that one. I'm not meaning the one that Polak's Kyogo and Kyogo ended up in the hospital after that. Not him, because he's too big and clumsy. The boy Clarkson, he's a good player as well. Very good player. But listen, they're actually coming to the end of a cycle. This new manager that's coming in, the boy Thielen that's coming in at the end of the season, they're actually coming to the end of their cycle. Now, I'd imagine guys like Duke, well, and Jem, you say that, right? And do you know what? You're probably right. You're probably right. But to be fair, see when you're up the top end of the league, you're not really looking at the bottom end of the league. I don't know if that's cheeky or no, but you're not really looking down the bottom end of the league. You're just looking at who's underneath you. Because up until the last couple of weeks, we were being told that we were in a title race. Not too sure about that now, right enough. But no, as I said, it's they're too far down the too far down the league. I'm not looking at Aberdeen. I'm only looking at them tomorrow. If my memory serves me right, I think it's a boy. He's not Scandinavian, by the way. I think he's Austrian. I think is it Stefan Gatterman? Is that his name? Centre back. He's a good player. He's got kind of fair hair. They've got another boy annoyed. I think he's Australian. Boy McGarry. He looks not a bad player as well. He's made a wee bit of a difference to them. They've got the boy Jamie McGrath, the Irish lad as well. Very good player. Very, very good player. The big boy Paul Vlara, American lad. I think it's Dante. I think it's Dante. By the way, Angie, I'm trying to do this off of memory, believe it or not. Paul Vlara, he adds a physical presence to him. Obviously they've signed Junior Hoylett as well, an experienced winger. Played down in England a lot of his career. Canadian lad. They've got the big boy Sokler. He plays up front as well. And obviously they'll get Duke and Miofsky. But I think, folks, at the end of the season, Aberdeen are going to have a clear out. I think it might even be a fire sale for them. I'm sure they've got the boy Phillips as well, the Irish lad. Is it Killian Phillips or something his name is as well? So I think, they've got players that might pose a threat to Celtic. And that's why I think Brendan said today that, you can't come off it. Doesn't matter what other teams are doing. You need to stay on it. You need to stay what you're doing and, stay true to what we're doing. And we'll see where it takes us. But as I've always said, folks, and I tell the boys time and time again, nearly every day, that when the chips are down and when they're asked to, quality rises, and that's why Celtic are champions, because they know how to get over the line. That's why I said earlier, folks, that we have a manager here that if we didn't have him, and by the way, I said this on BBC Sports Sound as well, when I was on chatting with the lads there a couple of weeks ago, I said if we didn't have Brendan, but we had a guy that maybe wasn't up to the quality level of Brendan, I don't think we get some of the results we've had, i.e. the Hibs game away, the Motherwell game away, the results we've had at Ibrox. I said this could be a lot worse this season, folks, And if it wasn't down to muscle memory, and now our squad taking better shape now with our ready-made quality players coming back from injury, it's been good timing. But am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised, because as I said, it's the players' muscle memory that's got us here. The quality. They've been trained in a way to peak this stage of the season. Other teams are struggling. Other teams are, starting to slow up, and players falling with cramp, and players pulling up with injuries, and it's been a long season. And but when you're a team that's challenging for trophies and you train for 60, 65 games, all the other teams don't train like that. No way do they train like that. They might train to a certain degree, but Celtic are trained to last the pace. And that's key, folks. That's something that no every team's got that. You can't do that. Look at the team across the water. Their players are coming in the public now and saying, we are, we're shit. We've been shit for a couple of weeks now. And I think, to be fair, he was being nice. He was really, really being nice. Because I think they've been shit for years, if I'm being honest. And it's the same players, guys. Why is people surprised now? They're dropping points. It's the same failures. It's the same guys that are struggling every year to compete. Ryan Jack, John Lundstrom, James Tavernier, Connor Goldson, Borna Barisic,
They're all still there. Cantwell's another one. All mouth, full of talk. Can he deliver? No. They beat us last season 3-0, folks. And they beat us at a time of the season where it meant nothing. To them, it meant like a World Cup. They drew. Listen, this is where we are, guys and gals, right? They drew with us and walked around the pitch celebrating with their fans. We did that when we beat Barcelona. And teams are at out. You know, that's where they are. They think a draw against us is a good result. That's where we've put them, guys. That's where we've put them. Just remember that, please. It's key. That's where we have put them as a team. They think it's a good result to draw with us in a game that they had to beat us. They had to win it. Had to. It meant so much. If they'd have beat us that day, they'd have went, what was it? 4 cleanies. 4 points ahead of us with a game in hand. How the mighty have fallen now, because now their game in hand's no there anymore. And look what's happened. Now they put off. And this is a bit that I can't get round my head, folks, right? They put off a Dundee game. It was put to them to play the Dundee game on the Wednesday night before they played us. Their answer? No, we want to prepare more for Celtic. How did that turn out for yous? How did that turn out for yous? What happened there? Inside the Parliament. And it's the same players. It's the same people. And the managers, the only thing that changes with our managers is the nationality. Because it's the same, in my opinion, it's the same level of manager that they keep bringing in. And it's also the same pot of glue they keep sniffing out of. If you listen to their pressers, it's all the same talk. It's as if it's scripted with them. Somebody's telling them to say these things. Surely Philip Clement can't believe that it's a freak accident that Murray will beat them. Surely Philip Clement can't sit and say Dundee were lucky. He turned round after drawing with us, guys and gals, and says it was a moral victory for them. Look at them now. What's morally right with where they are now? And there's a gap now in the league. There's a gap. You know, big gap. And in my opinion, the way that is going now, that gap's going to get bigger. It's mental. Yeah, mate, you mentioned there about them sacking Gio, right? About after taking them to the Europa League final. Statistically, over the last 4 or 5 managers, he's been their best manager. Statistically. The guy they've got to know, who, by the way, guys and girls, we've heard all season, and even on here it's get spoke about he's done this and he's done that and he's done. We have heard all season that he's a messiah. This guy's got all the answers. He's done this, he's done that. He's got a worse record than Michael Beale. And that was cemented on Wednesday night after that draw with Dundee. We don't need to win the league. It's being done for us elsewhere. Celtic don't need to bust their arse if it's happening elsewhere. But the key thing Brendan says, and I loved it, folks, I loved what he says today. Don't take your eye off the ball. Keep doing what we're doing. And see when that happens, guys, we've seen this so many times. Celtic put a wee bit of gas on the accelerator and away we go. And the rest of them can't keep up. And that's what we're seeing. And I was asked at the beginning of the season how I think this season would go. And I am still saying it. And I said it at the beginning of the season. I said Celtic would win the league. Now, I never mentioned anything about a cup, right? And I'm not entitled to either just because we've won trebles and we've done this and we've done that. Because like I says, I remember watching Celtic when I was a wee boy. And I know how quickly football can change. But when I see the two squads married up beside one another, we have got serial winners. We have got serial winners, guys that have won over 20 odd trophies in their careers. They've got serial losers in their squad. They've only won 3 trophies in 7 years. Oh no, tell a lie, 4. They won the Moral Victory Cup a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, we're being told that it's us that are bad. We're poor. We've been rotten. Celtic need to do more. Brendan's under pressure. Anybody thinks Brendan Rodgers is under pressure, and I mean negative pressure, as in his job's being threatened by this, or he's hanging by a thread or whatever, give your head a wobble. Seriously, give your head a wobble. That's the difference, guys. We've got an elite manager. Did you see your manager coming out and talking absolute nonsense? Motherwell beating us was a freak accident. Hearts beat us 2-0 at Celtic Park. Did Brendan come out and say that was a freak accident? It's absolute dribble. Dribble. And even our fans this season have jumped on it. Oh, that must be true because everybody's saying it. Honestly. Have a look at what's there in front. Break it all down. Talk it over with people that you know. And really, really, really look at it through a microscope and see what it is. Don't believe the hype with the media and everything else. Don't be easily led with that, because they would have you think that Rangers were the best team in this country. And they're no. They're no. And they're no by country miles on and off the pitch. I rest my case. Listen, everybody, I hope everybody enjoys yourself. You got the game tomorrow, please enjoy. If you aren't, please have a lovely weekend. It's been a pleasure once again coming on and having a chat with you. As I said earlier, it was good to see Big Jason. I've not seen him for a while. He's looking well. Hope he enjoys his holiday. And hopefully we can get another wee chat soon at some point with him. But for now, I will say it. Hail, hail. Take care. Have a lovely weekend. And I'll see you back here on Monday night. Bye-bye.
Hi folks, JP here from the podcast. Just to let you all know that the podcast is sponsored by AB Entertainment, and the AB stands for Mr. Alec Beveridge. It's a DJ and entertainment business. Alex is on Facebook and Instagram, and you can hit him up through the WhatsApp for any bookings on 07845 746 092. And also folks, the podcast has taken on a new partner, and we're partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. If you want any jerseys, or if you've got any memorabilia sitting around you want framed or anything looked after that way, contact John Mullaney, and you can get him at johnmullaney0971@gmail.com, or contact him on his mobile 07835 072 582. And here at the Unrestricted View, we hope you're all enjoying the content, and if you are, please like and subscribe. It's free to do so, and also share amongst your Celtic family as well. Hail, hail from all of us.
tag.